Yo, 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 come on in, man. Come on in. Come on in. Let's talk some football, man. Ain't no Falcons talk today, but we gonna talk some sports today, man. We're gonna talk a trade. Trade down. I've been seeing it for the last 24 hours. And guess what? It happened. Woo, man. See, this is the type thing. This is how champions are built. Sometimes, you got to spend money to make money, spend money to play big. It's like gambling, man. When you go to the casino and you sitting on a nice stack of money that could probably build into something more. Just say for a fact, you in the casino gambling, you spend $2,500 on a bet, and you can probably get by 60 to 70,000 in return. You're gonna place that bet. It's just like how should I say this? Just like I think um just like the Rams. Y'all remember a couple of years ago, and they owner he ain't scared to he's not scared to make the big moves. Auntie Joy, what's up? He ain't scared to make the moves, and he did it again. Um One thing about it, you just don't never know how things gonna turn out if you do it, again. He won the Super Bowl, beat the Bengals a couple years ago. So he said, earlier this week, hey, fuck it, let's do it again. And they made a trade. Los Angeles Rams made a trade with the Cleveland Browns for Myles Garrett. And it worked again. I got to pause it for a second and go out and come back in because it's messing up. But we going all right, let's jump on back into this thing, man. Yeah, another trade has come along too. We'll talk about that in a second. I absolutely love this trade. One thing about spending money to make money is something that I ain't never been scared to do. Sometimes you got to gamble, and a lot of teams in the past, present, and gonna be in the future. They should actually take notes from this. And I've said that about my hometown Atlanta Falcons, man. I've said about the Falcons. When you look at the Falcons, what they are doing, one thing about it, they're building a good team that's playoff worthy right now. But for the Rams to do this two times in a row, and remind y'all now, the Rams did not have a first round pick from 2013, no 2018, all the way up to 2013. That's right, 2013 all the way up to 2021. So they went 8 years without a first round pick. Um, if you think about Jared Goff, he was a Jeff Fisher guy. We know this. So Sean McVay wanted Matthew Stafford. He wanted a strong arm quarterback, just a different style quarterback that could sling the football. That is what he was used to. That what he was brought up off of as a coach. So he knows what he needs. But that trade worked. They got the best of that trade. Ended up with the Super Bowl. Now, this is the trade y'all looking at it on the screen. Myles Garrett goes to the Los Angeles Rams from the Cleveland Browns. They get Jared Verse, a 2027 first round pick, 2028 second round pick, and a 2029 third round pick. And the crazy thing about it, they had to spend more to get Matthew Stafford at quarterback. They're getting a two-time defensive player of the year. Yeah, he's getting up in age, but Myles Garrett is like a freight truck. He just broke the NFL record for sacks in the season with 23. Could have had more because I think he went like the 2 out of the last 3 games without a sack. If he got a sack and a half or 2 sacks like he was getting that on that pace, he was on pace to get 30 at one point. But he is a former first round pick. And I have no problem with this trade because if you look at Jared Verse, rookie defensive player of the year, had a very solid couple of seasons with the Rams. but they just felt like they needed an upgrade. Now, if you look at their roster is stacked. Just remember this, and let me try to put it up right quick. This is the roster that they're going to put on the field week 1. And we ain't done because the preseason hasn't even come. And what they put together is pretty extraordinary. And like I said, you got the quarterback, so you don't really need anything else outside of that one player. And STF, I actually said this. I said, what if Aaron Donald came out of retirement just to go on one more run with Myles Garrett, Matthew Stafford? And y'all can see the offense right there on the screen. Look at the offense. Devontae Adams, veteran. Puka Nacua, one of the best wide receivers in the league, finna get a big deal. You look at Mumford, they drafted, they got part of that trade with the Falcons. Then you look at Stafford. Kyron Williams, who one of the most underrated running backs in the league. Tyler Higbee is a pretty much a solid tight end who's been very reliable. Solid offensive line. So they're putting together a team that I think can get an NFC a run, because look at the Eagles, they're falling apart. They just AJ Brown. So the Rams are in prime position. Look at this defense. You look at Braden Fisk, who came over from Florida State as a rookie just 2 years ago. Poona Ford, the veteran. Kobe Turner, solid rookie season, had 10 sacks his rookie season. Then you look at Byron Young, another solid outside linebacker. Nate Landman, former Atlanta Falcon, solid tackler. Myles Garrett is on that outside with him. Look at the cornerback and the safeties on this team. This is where they're going to thrive, because if you have a solid defensive backfield, it's going to generate sacks. This is one of the reasons why they went out and got Myles Garrett. You look at Joe Watson, who got a first-round pick to go get Trent McDuffie. So one thing about the Rams, they're not scared. Cam Curl just signed a contract. Cameron Kitchens, he probably going to get paid after this year. And they have good depth at all their positions. Emmanuel Ford, solid backup corner. Nickelback, Quentin Lake. His dad, Carnell Lake, I remember him playing for the Steelers back in the day. This team is built from front to back strong as they can. One name that I want y'all to keep an eye on. I know Poona Ford is the starting nose tackle right now. But Tim Keenan III out of Alabama is a space eater, something that I talk about all the time for my Atlanta Falcons that team have to have. Tim Keenan is the reason why Myles Garrett break his own record this year. The secondary could be another reason, because you look at the secondary, very, very solid. So I don't see a hole on this team. Solid running back. Solid starting running back. Wide receiver core. Devontae Aubrey Jackson, solid left tackle. Solid blindside protector. Kevin Dotson, the veteran. Warren McClendon. So, look, I know the Eagles stack, and I know they still got, a pretty good team, and a lot of people picking the Giants to win the division this year because of John Harbaugh. But, I don't see that happening. I don't. But let me say what's up to the chat. My bad. Don't mean to be rude. Silk, what's up, my guy, as always. Kevin, what's up? Said, damn, yeah, they always say it, man. They always say it. And this is how we have to start thinking as Falcons fans and content creators and things of that nature. You gotta spend money, man. And the crazy thing about it, the Falcons have money next year. And this is why I said what I said about the quarterback position. But Rams going all in on McDuffie now. Garrett to had Donald. Garrett to future first. Garrett at 100%. They're gonna give San Francisco a run for their money, man. Trust me when I tell you that they're gonna give San Francisco a run for their money. John, what's up, my guy? He said, those damn Rams. We really didn't need Myles Garrett. We got two young guns on the edge. And I'm gonna be honest, Big John, I would have pulled that trade off still. Because guess what? Look at what just happened in the offseason. Turmoil. Not saying I would trade him, but for Myles Garrett and knowing we're getting a lot of money next year with a no trade clause, I would have done it. Tell you what's up, man. It was a good trade. I don't believe Jarrett versus whatever amount the Myles Garrett production. Absolutely. And that's what they were thinking. They were thinking, yeah, we got Jarrett verse. He's no Myles Garrett. We gonna find a way to make the money work. They were pretty much fine. They were pretty much fine. The way to get the money to make the contract work. And a no trade clause is something that you can only ask for, man. Only ask for. Nando, what's good, my guy? I can see this being the Atlanta Falcons in 4 years because of Ian Cunningham is building this team from the ground up. I can see us in the Super Bowl conversation. And Nando, that's why I brought up what I brought up about Joe Burrow. This is why I see it. If you want a championship move, go get a championship caliber quarterback. Joe Burrow's been to the Super Bowl. He's proved that. And I know a lot of y'all Penix fans, y'all mad about Tua. But if y'all want me to be real, this move with Myles Garrett is the type move the Falcons need to make to get over the top. And it starts at the quarterback position because since Matt Ryan left, this is why the Falcons have not been the Falcons. They haven't had a quarterback that can put them over the top. Taser, I don't believe Donald's coming out of retirement. He has never stopped working out. He said he would if Rams got Parsons. I'm quite sure Garrett would make him feel the same. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I just see that. For some reason, I just see it. And I wouldn't be surprised because Aaron Donald with this team, you put him on one end, Garrett on the other, and then put them big nose tackles in the middle. Oh yeah. Ain't nobody stopping this team. The only team would stop the Rams is the Rams. Taser, you think they lack depth at wide receiver, offensive line, linebacker, cornerback. They can always fix that. They can training camp. You're going in the preseason. Somebody's going to be a cap casualty. Come on, it's going to be a veteran that's going to come play on this team and say, "Hey, I can get a ring with this team. Fuck that money. Let's go get this ring." They'll come over. One of the players you wouldn't even expect. Trust me, it could happen. And boy, I hate to see it. I love Tyler Algier here. He got holes going to Arizona. But Lord forgive, he goes to the Los Angeles Rams with Kyron Williams. Thunder and Lightning 2.0. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Algier asked for a trade after this season. Because Myles Garrett going to be around for a while. He got about 2 or 3 years left on that contract. Matthew Stafford might not be around for a year or two, but that's why they, grooming Ty Simpson to take over. But this is one of those trades, man, you just got to say, man, oh, man, this is the tight trade we need in Atlanta. It is. So, smash that like button. Auntie Joyce said, smash that like. Y'all do that. And having John H as their coach guarantees the Giants nothing. Yeah, I mean, Odell Beckham going back to the Giants. Let's be real. He didn't have nowhere else to go. Nowhere else. He didn't have nowhere else to go. I mean, what else could he do? I mean, he was Odell Beckham blew through $100 million in 4 or 5 years. Buying crazy stuff. Rolls Royces. Nice houses. 2, 3 houses. Come on, man. Come on. But this is one of those things, man. I just think the Falcons got to capitalize off a move like this. This is the blueprint. A lot of people don't want to admit it, but this is the blueprint to go out and get multiple superstars at key positions. And that's why if the Falcons traded for him, I would not be mad. How long have we been saying that the Falcons need an elite pass rusher? Now they did go get 2 in the draft, and they added 2 via free agency. But a Myles Garrett would have been a game changer. A1, what's up, man?
What's happening, family?
You there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey.
Oh, hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was about to say,
What
can
you
you
think
hear
about
me?
this, man? What you think about this trade?
Shoot, actually, splash for the Rams. Makes sense for the Rams to do it. They feel like they are close to the Super Bowl. You think about the last 2 seasons, actually. They have been close. They have been getting to the playoffs. They've been a piece or two away, a play or two away. You think about a penalty or two away, you know what I'm saying, from getting close to the Super Bowl or being able to play in the Super Bowl. And a move like this, I mean, you already seen that the Rams weren't playing any games anyway when they went and made sure that they got two top tier corners, Trent McDuffie and also Watson from Kansas City, championship pedigree as well coming over. So that made perfect sense. And then the next thing you know, you're trading for Myles Garrett. You know what I'm saying, this generation's technically best pass rusher. And yeah, you did have to give up Jared Verse, but no one knows exactly what Jared Verse is going to be. We know exactly what Myles Garrett is. And then you give up a couple of firsts, you know what I'm saying? We already know how the Rams feel about those picks. So honestly, it makes sense because they are closer to a Super Bowl than I would say like our team. Like if we would have done it, it would have been like, yeah, we got Myles Garrett, but it's like, okay, who do we have to give up? You know what I'm saying? To get it. And my question, well, I'm gonna ask a question later on. We can keep on talking about this, but I definitely got a Falcon question pertaining to Myles Garrett, though. I do, but makes sense for the Rams, though, bro.
I think I know where you're going with that, but we can wait. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. Yeah, they had just signed McDuffie. Um, just traded for McDuffie. Just signed Jalen Watson. So it made too much sense for them to just keep building on that defensive side of the ball because we do that. Most of the teams in the division, that's what they were thriving on. Because think about
Right.
it, the Seahawks won Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. Who saw that coming? But Tay said Seahawks, 49ers, and Rams going to be a crazy battle. Rams schedule is pretty gruesome too. But the thing about gruesome schedule with talent like this, it's still going to be hard. But a guy like Myles Garrett can just switch things around. I just asked Kevin Stefanski. They were bad last year, but they still had one of the top defenses in the league because of Myles Garrett.
Right.
When you have a wrecking ball like that, you can swing the defense any way that you need to. You can run a 3-4, you can run a 4-3, you can be a blitz heavy package. I mean, you can just do what you need to do to get to the quarterback. And guys like this not said it. If Keenan and Poona Ford and those nose tackles step up like they're supposed to, Myles Garrett is probably going to break his own record this year. I just see it. I just see it.
And I know we talked about it too, but I gotta ask, like, and I even want to know what the chat thinks. Like, let's think about some hypotheticals. There is still a guy that retired young, retired early, still in great shape, still an absolute monster. What if Aaron Donald decides he wants to come back and joins this Rams team?
Yeah, we just talked about that off the air before I jumped on. And I said it. I couldn't see it. And somebody put it in the chat earlier. It makes too much sense. I think Aaron Donald's still only 35 years old, 34, 35. He's not old. 35 at the most. He still got a good 2 to 3 years. Have you have you seen how this guy works out, man? This guy works out a brutal workout.
I have.
Some
I have.
that we will
45,
never
bro,
see.
45 minutes. 45 minutes to an hour of his workout is just the warm up.
Right. He works out 3 hours to 4
There are
hours a
people who are
day.
done cooked in 45 minutes. There are people who are
Man,
cooked in 45 minutes.
Chris, you want me to be honest with you? I'm like a microwave. You put me on quick cook, I'm done in 5 minutes. But
Man.
the, but but the thing about it, man, a move like this, it just lets me know that the management is not scared to go all in. And I'm glad Tate asked this question because how you feel about the Falcons going to get Jalen Hyatt if he's cut by the Giants, still young, 24 years old, maybe just need a fresh start, and that's what a lot of players need. That's why Myles Garrett waived that no trade clause. He wants to win a Super Bowl, so he know the best way to win the Super Bowl is go to a team that's Super Bowl ready. Yeah, Jalen Hyatt could come in and help right away, but he's going to have an uphill climb. Yes, he's a vertical threat. Yes, he has 4.3 speed, but with the wide receivers we have right now, it's going to be an uphill climb. Because you got to think about the guy that's on the practice squad as well. Chris Blair is a veteran. He might not even beat out Chris Blair. But if they brought him in for a workout, I would not be mad.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll see how it plays out. Go ahead.
That's what he was known for out of college. And we're always at
You breaking up.
one of those things where like I know they say you
You
can never
breaking up.
have. Oh my bad. I know they say you can. My bad. My bad. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, but I was just saying about Hyatt. I know coming out of college, he was known as a speed demon and
Right.
one of those guys that can just get down the field. And yeah, you can never. I guess you can never have enough speed. But my thing is, if you bring in Jalen Hyatt, if he does well, it's like, okay, who are you getting rid of? I mean, you're gonna let the veteran and OZ walk. I don't necessarily think for Jalen Hyatt they'll do that, but maybe like a Casey Washington. I don't know. I mean, you start looking at some of those names, and if it's a possibility, things could work out with a change of scenery, but I know he is mostly known for speed, and he just could not get on the field or stay on the field out there with the Giants. But sometimes you just need to replace.
Yeah, yeah. And fit is everything. When you have a perfect fit to a team and a scheme, I mean, there's no way around it, man. Because just look at a lot of teams in the NFL. A lot of teams are 1 or 2 players away, and guys like this become available. And the crazy thing is, I knew he was going to want out. I think, man, you talked about this
Yeah,
about
we
2 months
talked about it.
ago when
Mm-hmm.
they reworked their contract. I said, oh yeah, he finna go.
Yep.
If they can find a way to lower that first year and start paying on the following year, somebody's going to make that trade. And the first name that came to my mind was the Rams. Because you know what I always say about the Falcons, fuck them picks. And that's what the Rams always do. So
Yeah, that's what
I
we
know you
say,
got,
but that's what they do.
I, I kind of know that's what you were going with that question you had. But what do you think the Falcons have to do? Because this is, I told y'all earlier in the show when I first started, this is why me and Chris had that show about Joe Burrow and upgrading the quarterback position. It's no knock to anybody. Yeah, Eli Manning is coming out next year. Yeah, that's going to be one of the
Oh,
best
aren't
quarterbacks class that people think that's ever been put together. But at the same time, it's still rookies. And we have a win now team. So what sense does that make? But right quick, man, tell me what you think before I read this super chat.
Oh man, that's tough. I mean, we talked about Joe Burrow, but again, if Joe Burrow is on the table, then that just if he's on the table, that means Cincinnati, what I'm saying, was trash again. Also, if he's on the table and the Falcons are interested, then that means none of our quarterback situations worked in Atlanta. Not Michael, not Tua. Shoot, must have been some question marks even on Jack. So I'm just like, that
But
means you
but
have
we
to go
but we
through
knew that.
three guys before you even get to the fact of wanting Burrow.
Yeah. But
Well,
the thing
technically
about it,
two.
man,
Technically two.
technically too. But think
Yeah.
about it, man. When we lost Matt Ryan, the best quarterback in team history, did we really know if he was going to go up from there? We knew when we picked up Marcus
Mm.
Mariota, it was going to be short term. Desmond
No,
Ritter, we had hope, but that fell flat on his face. Then you look at Taylor Heineke, no long term answer. Then
yeah.
even the year before last, well, 2 years ago when we drafted Mike Penix, we thought he was going to be the guy, but that was derailed by going to sign Kirk Cousins, which was ignorant. So now, you got to that's why it makes no sense to go backwards. You look at what we did over the last 5 years with quarterbacks. It makes no sense to go get a rookie quarterback again after just spending the 8th round pick on Michael Penix. It makes no sense. So what do?
Yeah.
You got a Bijan Robinson, a Drake London, and all these offensive weapons. You go out and get a quarterback that knows how to give him the football. And again, if we see a move like that, guess what? You can see Jamar Chase or T. Higgins here with the right moves. So when you get superstar players, you get other superstar players that want to go play with those players. Just that simple.
Mm-hmm.
Willie, appreciate y'all. Appreciate you as always, my guy. He said, thanks, Tips and Smitty. Just getting here to the stream. Any ripple effect to the Falcons. Blessings, y'all. Yeah, it's the ripple effect, and we talked about it. This puts pressure on the Falcons to go out and make this type of championship caliber move. Because think about it. Look at what they've done to put this team together the last 2 years. Yeah, they got the two bookends. They signed Jesse Bates a couple of years ago. They drafted Xavier Watts. They lost Caden Ellis, but they replaced it with two pretty good replacements in Perkins and Daniels. So they're putting together a great defense. And now all they have to do is figure out the quarterback spot. And if they don't do it, next year has got to be the year. Because they're not going to give Michael Penix a fifth year option. Come on now. Come on. So it has a ripple effect. What you think?
I got a ripple question. And okay, it's sad that we have to do this, but I'm gonna give a disclaimer. My goodness. First of all, the player I'm about to name, I still want. I always did want. Um, and you know, what I'm saying, I just wanted to see what was going to happen with the situation, and we go further from there. But I want to know Myles Garrett on the table. Falcons have opportunity to get him. You see what the deal is, what it was like two firsts and Jared Verse, right?
Yep.
Are Falcon fans comfortable, cool, and okay if the Falcons would have traded James Pierce Jr. two firsts for Myles Garrett?
They wouldn't have had to do that. They would have had to trade the exact same thing. The only reason why I say that is because as a rookie, he showed a lot more upside than Jared Verse had. Now they would have got Myles Garrett, but look, you trade one of those, and you probably trade a first and maybe a second round pick, and
I,
maybe a
I think
future
I think a
second.
first and a I think a first and a fourth would have got it done with JPJ.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
a
think
third.
about this too, man. Think about this too. You got to look at age as a factor. This is why they only got one first round pick. But
Mhm.
at the same time, he just had 23 sacks. And I'm finna look at his stats right quick while we on live. I'm gonna look at his stats and give y'all the quick rundown. He's only had one season where he didn't have 10 sacks. That was his first season in the league. In nine starts in 11 games, he had 7 sacks. But ever since then, 13 and a half, 10, 12, 16, 16, 14, 14, and 23 last year, which is an NFL record. He's been a Pro Bowler 7 of his 9 years. So you mean to tell me these players and Avion, AJ, Jesse Bates, Xavier Watts, young linebackers, Quentin, Brandon Dorless, um, Jaden Walker would still be here. I would still go get Myles Garrett because that would be icing on the cake. And what did I tell everybody about a month ago? Defense need to be our identity, and Myles Garrett would have solidified that. All they had to do keep adding pieces. It just makes too much sense. But it's neither here nor there. But this is why the quarterback situation keeps coming up as far as Joe Burrow being an Atlanta Falcon. It just makes too much sense. These are
Yeah.
championship moves you have to make to take it to the next level. With a Bijan Robinson, the best running back in the league. Give him that quarterback that gives him that safety blanket.
Sometimes you got to make those type of moves, man. It's gonna be interesting because I can't wait because we do have a new GM, and I can't wait to see like his all of his tendencies. I know what he's been saying, and I know that I've been seeing, you know what I'm saying, what he's been doing, but I know he is really somebody that values draft picks. So I'm really interested to see if a guy like Joe Burrow becomes available or if another premier pass rusher. I mean, I guess it don't really get too much better than Myles Garrett, you know, body of work wise. But you know
Right.
what I'm saying? But yeah, if somebody else comes available like that and the Falcons are close or right there, I feel like, okay, this could be the move that takes us over the top or takes us to the next level. Will Ian, you know what I'm saying, sacrifice the draft capital in order to do it.
Yeah. Facts. And see, that's the thing, man. You can look at another trade that happened today. AJ Brown goes to the Patriots, gives Drake May another target. You got to make championship moves when you have the ammo to do so. Let's get a GA. What's up, my guy? Appreciate the donation. Truly appreciate it. Willie, thank you for another donation, my brother. He said, did both teams win this trade? Funny how we wanted Verse, got Penix, and now Verse is no
Right,
longer with the team. And
right, right.
that's a good point, Willie. That's a good point. Um,
See,
but
see, but bro, I ain't gonna
go
lie,
ahead.
stay right there because again, the Rams, it's all depending on the situation they in. I don't think that they absolutely want to just be like, oh, Jared Verse, yeah, go on, get out of here. I don't think it was that situation. I just think that they are so close and they have already had multiple seasons with Jared Verse, still was close, didn't get over the hump. Maybe Myles Garrett can be the person to get us over the hump. It's just going to cost us a young piece and a couple of draft picks in order to do it. And you know how the Rams are. We already don't said it multiple times on this stream already. They are like, forget the picks. They don't care about the picks. If they feel like they are close, they will go get a player. So I honestly don't. I honestly just feel like Jared Verse just so happened to be a casualty of war. Myles Garrett was out there. The contract works. They're trying to get to the Super
Yeah,
Bowl, and they're honestly making more and more chances for themselves by getting these premier all pro, all world players. I mean, even down to
right,
Trent McDuffie, that's a shutdown corner. And then you go get his buddy Watson, who's not bad himself. I even wanted Watson on the Falcons. So it was like,
right.
okay, you go get those two guys. You already have the team that you have. You still got Young and Turner and all those other guys too. And now you add Myles Garrett to that room. That is sick.
And remember, Kobe Turner had 10 sacks his rookie season, more than
Man.
Jared Verse. So he's giving you pass rush from the defensive tackle position, defensive end, whatever you want to call it. Willie, no problem, my guy. Anytime. Thank you for always donating and supporting the channel. Truly appreciate you, my guy. But y'all, what he's talking about, I put up a video, break of dawn this morning. I said it for the break of dawn this morning. It's 2-1 and done. That's a question, he asked. He wanted to know, what the quarterback situation would look like past 2026. And I kind of gave an insight. And if y'all been watching us, I kind of talked about it already, but I broke it down just a little bit more, just in case y'all needed me to do that. But with it, man, I thank you for the question. Truly appreciate it, my guy. But yeah, you can't be comfortable, man. You can't be. When you want to win Super Bowl, these are the type moves you have to make, man. It's no way around it. Look, and I tell y'all this. I give y'all the perfect example. 1994 49ers, and I'm dead old. They got Deion Sanders from the Falcons in 1994. That team consisted of 8 Hall of Fame players, maybe more, but then it was 8 Hall of Fame players. You had Deion Sanders, Toy Cook, Ricky Jackson, Richard Dent, Steve Young, Jerry Rice, Ricky Waters, Brett Jones. I can just keep going. Tim McDonough. I can keep going. Merton Hanks. That team was loaded from front to back just to beat the Dallas Cowboys. This is what the Rams are trying to duplicate. They're putting together a team just to knock out any team that gets in their way.
Yep, and they try to build it through the defense.
Because guess what?
Yeah.
Right.
They building through the defense. No, I'm just saying they just building through the defense, bro. And again, what have we talked about here? We said that you could, pay a bunch of offensive players, or you could go the opposite route and invest into your defense. And then, so that can bring your offense along too. Look at our defense last year. How many times were we in the game because of our defense? Because of the lack of what the offense or special teams is providing. And the defense just out there like the lone soldier on the island by themselves, just like, man, I'm holding it down the best I can.
Facts. That's what I'm saying. Chase said he wouldn't have made that trade. He's 30. He said he'll do anything else to get him besides getting rid of JPJ. But you got to think about it. If the Falcons win the Super Bowl because of Myles Garrett, he been that defensive presence, would you even be thinking about James Pierce Jr.? I wouldn't. And it's no knock to him. He's still young. He's still 21. Absolutely. But it's about what they asked for in return. They had to get another pass rush in return to replace Myles Garrett. That's why Jerry Verse was part of the trade. Because believe me, you. If they could have got Puka Nacua, they would have asked for it.
Oh God.
But they probably wouldn't have got those 2 of those draft picks. So they had to come to some kind of agreement.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, one thing about it is a business at the end of the day. It's about the logo, it's about winning football games, and if Myles Garrett is that missing piece to get the Falcons to the Super Bowl, the only person that's off limits is Bijan. Keep it real.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I can't think of nobody else outside of Bijan Robinson who would be off limits to get
Yeah,
something like that done.
facts.
Whew, boy.
Tay said, "This what scares me about Ian. He loves draft picks, and I don't see him making these type of moves in the future.
That's why I just asked
We
that.
know our previous GM would have in a heartbeat. But let's keep it real, Tay. I know Ian don't like to make these moves, but you know who else still who would make that move and can't nobody overrule that man right up there at the top, Arthur Blank.
Off the
If
blank.
Arthur Blank see a move like this, that he say, hey, he 83 years old. If he see a move like this, that come on, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's the only person that can overrule like everything. I will say this too though.
But I think
I
Matt can
will
do it.
say this too. I was about to
I think
say
he get yeah,
I think Matt can influence, but again, we're talking about overrule. Like if they just say, "No, we're not going to do this," and the owner just said, "Yes, we are," then they're going to make the trade. You know, so regardless. But I think Matt can come in and say,
right,
"Hey, Ian, let's take a look at what we have." Probably get with Coach Stefanski and take a look at what we have. Does this make sense? I think we could make this move. You know what I'm saying? The thing about it is so great. You have a guy like Matt Ryan who does have that competitive spirit all throughout his career, even back to Boston College. One thing that I've always heard about Matt Ryan, he's a competitor. So,
right,
with that being said, that's going to come to the front office as well. There may be a time to where Ian may be like, I'm going to stay pat, I'm cool. And Matt maybe make the suggestion and like, hey, man, we're this close. You know, so you can't take these opportunities for granted. I know because I used to be out there on that field. You got to go for it. And it could be a situation just like that. Because,
right,
think about it. Matt Ryan has already put his hands on the Falcons in multiple different ways. Let's to go back to draft night when Ian Cunningham was about to trade out of the 48th overall because they thought Avion wasn't going to be there. Matt said, hold on. Just hold on. He's still on the board. Don't trade out of the pick yet. What happens? We end up with Avion. So it's not foreign for Matt Ryan to put his suggestions or his input already onto this team.
right. And he got more power than y'all think. If he over the GM,
He
he got
definitely
more
does.
power than y'all think. Yeah, so he got more power than y'all think. When Arthur Blank said I trust him, that's all he need to hear. And I told
Oh,
y'all, Arthur Blank don't trust hardly nobody. Let's keep it real. Think about it. He fired Rich McKay. I never thought I'd see the day where he did that. Cause I told y'all he don't trust too many people.
yeah.
He don't.
But
And
that's
that,
because Rich was falling out of favor. You think about it, man. We
right.
just not winning. We not winning. You eventually you're gonna fall out of favor with people, even if you cool and you my homeboy. But I feel like the only person that could have got Rich out of here was somebody like Matt.
Yeah. Facts. He would say he met Tyler Algier at a card event this weekend. That's
Oh,
pretty
that's
cool.
dope.
Say
That's
he signed
dope.
a card for him. Yeah, that's dope as
No,
hell,
that's
man. That's what
awesome.
I like to see stuff like that. I like you, boy. You lucky. Shout out to Uncle Lou, by the way. Uncle Lou,
Yes,
big
yeah, I
supporter of
gotta
the show,
reach out
man.
to him, man.
I,
Gotta
I got to
check on
call
him.
Uncle Lou.
Yeah,
Facts.
man.
OBJ, Juju back with the Giants, AJ to the Pats, and Miles to LA. Y'all truly see a vision with season where we winning again in the near future? Anything's possible. And Jason, this is why I keep saying, see, y'all just keep bringing the point right back to what I'm saying. The only thing the Falcons are missing right now is a quarterback. If we get a quarterback, yes, we can be right back in the mix. Think about it last year. Yeah, we finished with a losing record. Two of the best teams in the NFL, we beat the brakes off both of them.
Yeah.
The Rams and the Bees. Just think about that. And if we had a clear cut quarterback, we probably make the playoffs. And how many seasons
And
have we seen? How many seasons have we said we won or two plays or two games or something like that away from being a playoff team? Quarterback push you over that hump finally. But go
def-
ahead.
def- definitely in back-to-back seasons, we definitely were that doggone close. Remember, we were 6-3, and then that happened, and then then last year we end up finishing at the end of the year tied with the team that won the division. That hurts, man.
And that made that blowout third and then even that more painful.
Man.
because that could have
Just
been
saying.
the real deciding.
Facts. That's what I'm saying. DBG said, I think once Ian builds this team the way he wants, and once we have a cap to sign very good free agents and become a playoff championship team, Arthur Blank and Matt Ryan will step up and make big trades. Well, DBG, news for you, my guy. That's gonna be next year.
Yeah, that's what I'm. I was
That's
just about to say the same thing. I'm thinking
that's gonna
next
be
year.
next year. Yeah, that's gonna be next year. Why? Yeah, you got to pay Bijan. Yeah, you got to pay Drake. But if you move on from Cal, you don't have to pay Cal, so that's money saved on the books. Then, I see people talking about Chris Lindstrom, one of the best offensive linemen in the league. But is he worth $30 million? I think he is, but will the Falcons think so? And think about it, they drafted linemen this year, brought in undrafted free agents. They thinking about it too. So I mean, the future far from done. You always drafting replacements before time. See, they thinking about these things, and that goes back to what I said earlier. When you put that quarterback into perspective and have somebody back there that you can trust in that pocket to lead your team, you have nothing that any other position on the team. It should be just pick and pull, pick and pull, pick and pull. Outside of the quarterback and Bijan, pick and pull, pick and pull. It's just the way football works. Coin. I don't think we do. I don't think they pick up the fifth year option on Penix. He's been hurt 2 years, and he's only started 14 games so far in his career. That's not even equivalent to a whole year. So by the time he get to next year, he won't be really having played equivalent of 2 seasons and 4 seasons. So it makes no sense to pick it up. The numbers don't back it up. And I know injuries happen, but the numbers don't back it up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, he got holds from the jump. When they signed Kirk Cousins, that got it.
Yeah, signed Kirk Cousins and then brought him in anyway. I always thought that was a little weird. But and again, like I said, Kirk before the Achilles, I was down. Smitty, I was on that show with you when we talked about it.
Yep.
And but once that Achilles happened, I said, "Oh, Achilles to a 36-year-old." I didn't want to take no smoke on it. I was like, "Look, just go in and just get the quarterback that you need. We can take our lumps." I didn't think we was going to win the Super Bowl or anything that year that we did get Kirk. So it's like you could have just took your lumps, won as many games as you could, get as much experience as you could for Michael Penix. But the problem with that is we were never going to get there because Zach Robinson was here. And Zach Robinson needed that player coach in Kirk Cousins in order to help him along. Like you wasting our seasons on guys who are not even far along where you could have just possibly brought in some experience, brought in your guy still and have him learn from the experienced guy. So when he does, but I guess it was just too much like right. You know what I'm saying? To do something like that.
You know that's why I was finna go with it, don't you? Too much like right. That's what I always say. When it's too much like right, expect the stupidity to happen. Tay said we took the Colts to overtime, lost to the Pats by 1. Because Romo missed the extra point. Sent it to overtime. Falcons are right there, and that's what I'm saying. Some of the best teams in the league. We hung it right in there to the very end.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, quarterback position is the crazy thing about it.
Don't forget about Young Wei Koo missing the field goal week 1.
Right. But see, that's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. When you that close and you just need a quarterback, hey, you got to go for it. And don't get me wrong, I'm gonna tell y'all, it's just some strange reason. I just feel like Tua is gonna be that guy for this year. He just gonna, if he can stay healthy, Falcons a playoff team. Cousins, let's be real. We talked about Matt Ryan arm when he got up in his career, arm turned to a chicken tender. Kirk Cousins same way. His arm is not strong. He knows his timing, time routes, anticipate throws. This is what made Kirk Cousins the quarterback. When Michael Penix learns that, anticipating throws, reading coverage is better, hey, you'll get the same production out of him. Tua, very good at adjustments, very good at reading coverages, very good at anticipating throws. We saw that at Alabama. So look, the Falcons are right there. If Tua can stay healthy, we right there. Oh boy, that lost to the Jets. Jesus Christ.
See, it's just so much, bro. That's what I'm saying. So much that you could have had. That one win right there, even to the Jets, that win could have been the win that propelled you into the playoffs because all you needed was one more win.
Right.
There's so much. It's just so crazy, man. And then and then my thing is for me, football is funny, life is funny, and it comes at you fast. When we started one regime, the first opponent was the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now we're starting a
Right.
new regime, and the opponent again is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep. So I mean, history has a funny way of repeating itself. But the thing about it, the reason why I have so much faith in Tua, we pretty much run the same type offense that they ran in Miami, and he beat us with one eye, and he put up some decent numbers. And if he can do that with the Falcons and with a Bijan Robinson and these weapons that he have here, and the defense 2 times better than Miami, hey, this is a playoff team. The division not strong in the NFC South, even though all 3 teams made solid moves. I still think the Falcons outweigh all those teams because of talent. Just saying.
You can. Young talent, some unproven talent. Hey, man, real quick, though. I'm trying to figure out what's up and what's good with all the negative talk, not from Falcon fans, so to speak, but all the negative talk on Jahan Dotson. Like, people act like we signed him to be the number 1 wide receiver, and I'm seeing people say, oh, that's the worst signing of the offseason. You know, there's a lot of signings in the offseason, right? And you pick that as the worst one when he's not even coming in to be a number 1. He possibly won't even be a number 2 because Kyle Pitts should be the number 2 option. Exactly. So he may be the 3rd option, but it's a bad contract. I just be like, bro, just, I hate when we get to the point to where we just got to get something out there content-wise, where we just got to get something out there. I'm like, that's where you go with it? Like, I don't know. That just been bothering me for 2 days.
I had to speak on that, though, bro, and I stick to what I said. If you remember, before they signed him, what did I say? I said, you know what? Jahan Dotson will be an interesting signing because as I look at his film from Penn State, knowing what he went through at Washington, knowing what he went through at Philadelphia, he was in a bad spot in both situations. His quarterback in Washington was Sam Howell, a backup 3rd string type quarterback. Then he gets to Philadelphia, you got to compete with not to mention Antonio Gibson as well as one of those weapons in Washington. But when you get to Philadelphia, you got to, and it's crazy. Antonio Gibson had just as many receptions as a wide receiver. He's a running back, but that's neither here nor there. But let me finish. You got to compete with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, and you expect to get targets? And the reason why it's going to work here, you want me to tell you why?
Why is that?
Olamide Zaccheaus is not a number 3 or a number 4. He's a spot guy.
I agree.
So Zachariah Branch, he's a gadget guy. He's a slot guy. Like I said,
he's a rookie. He's a rookie.
So he needs time to, grow into the NFL. That's another reason. So outside of Kyle Pitts and Drake London, what really do the Falcons have outside of those 2 and Zachariah Branch, outside of Bijan Robinson at the receiving position? He has no choice but to succeed. And look at the contract. Right. Go ahead.
No, I was saying you just got some guys. I was answering your question, like what you got besides those. Like you just got some guys, some regular guys that possibly could come in and help out on a couple of downs and everything like that. But I do understand when people say when they talk about our wide receiver room, they say that's not really like scaring anybody. I understand what they're saying. Like, outside of Drake and Pitts, I understand what you're saying. Right. But that's why I feel like Jahan Dotson is going to have a first-year Darnell Mooney-esque type season. Now, he may not even have as many yards or touchdowns as Darnell, but I still feel like he's going to be a factor in that receiving game because one thing about it, when guys get oppos, when they get opportunities, sometimes guys can make the most of it. And I feel like Jahan, when I'm just thinking about his first 2 seasons in Washington, even though he wasn't a number one guy there, he still put up numbers the best way he could, and he was effective. I'm expecting that same thing to happen here, especially when you have a quarterback like Michael, a quarterback like Tua. Both of them can get him the ball, So I'm just looking at it like, hey, this guy has an opportunity to come in and pretty much rewrite his story right now. Because right now, people are considering him to be trash, and it's crazy because the talent is there.
Yeah, and then he talks about the contract. $15 million is not much in the NFL. Yeah, it's a lot of money to me and you, but look at the way the contract is structured. The cap hit for this year is only $5 million. Next year is $10 million, but if you cut him or you move on, it's just a $5 million dead cap hit. That's not nothing. So I mean, it's a big risk versus reward, but I think you get more reward out of it than risk because you get a guy that can play all three levels. He can play slot, he can play outside, he can return kicks, he can do all of that. And he had a pretty good run at Super Bowl year a couple of years ago. So he can play. You just have to find a way to be creative and get him to football, just like you do Zachariah Branch. They pretty much in the same boat. They do the same thing, but Jahan Dotson just a little bit more experienced.
Right. And Quan, I see what you're saying about that. We still need a wide receiver too. I ain't gonna lie to you. We got a tight end that's making $17 million this year. He
That's the
better
wide
be wide
receiver too.
number two.
Right.
He better be
That's
number
what,
two.
right. That's what I always say. He's the number 2 target no matter who's on the field. And if it was left up to me, he would be the number 1 target because he's the biggest mismatch on the field. He can outrun linebackers. He can outrun cornerbacks. He can outrun linebackers. He's the biggest mismatch on the field. To me, I would build an offense around him outside of Bijan. Because if you build an offense around him, it opens everything else up. But I just don't understand why coaches just don't see that.
Man, I feel like if he was a better route runner, I feel like, and if you didn't have to always keep him engaged, I feel like he would have way more targets and catches than what he does. Because sometimes because my thing is people are human and people can be petty. Sometimes, well, I ain't even want to use petty because you should go out there and do your job regardless of you getting the ball or not. But on the flip side of it, if I'm on the sideline, well, not even me. If a certain coach is on the sideline and they're seeing what they're seeing with their football eye, they could possibly be like, you know what? I'm still not gonna draw nothing up for him because he's not showing me that he even wants it.
Right.
And
I like that you said something about the route running part. The thing about tight ends, it's hard for them to get, input. It's hard for them to get, to be excellent route runners because they're always in line. They're always blocking, coming off blocks. Now, if he lines up in the slot, that's a different story, which he lined up a lot last couple of years. But if he got that under control as a slot guy, which I think Zachariah Branch going to take that over, so you might not see a lot of that. He might be more in line. But if he gets his route running down as a slot guy, who can stop him? Out routes, post routes, comebacks, digs. Who can stop him? Him. He the only person can stop himself. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and shout out to Coach Stefanski too, because he's talked about how Kyle is working on everything. They tried to get some information out of Kyle Pitts his last interview. But I mean, he's just trying to work on everything, route running, just being an all around better tight end, you know what I'm saying? And getting better at everything. So I'm expecting, well, I ain't gonna say I'm expecting. I'm hoping that this year we will see the best version of Kyle Pitts. I'm hoping that version looks similar to that Tampa Bay game when he had his career high in production. You know what I'm saying? Just in that one game. So like, I'm thinking about it is regardless of what people think, you know what I'm saying? We're really pulling for all the Falcons that we have. It's just we got to talk about the other side of it. Some people really don't talk about the business side of things when it comes to these football players because everybody's in love with them. And the business aspect is everybody just can't stay. You think about it, man. Y'all just stay tuned because I know soon I'm gonna try to get it out this week. May turn it into a live. Not sure just yet, but I want to talk about our contract extensions. because we got multiple
Oh yeah, we can do that. That's
to talk
easy.
about. You know what I'm saying? We
Another
got multiple
another
to talk
thing,
about.
another thing we can add on to that is about 2 to 3 undrafted rookies that can push veterans out the door on this team, and I see it. I see it,
Yeah,
and even rookies as well. It's I would say any rookie that we drafted really can push a veteran out the door, and 2 to 3 undrafted free agents that can push veterans out the door. So I mean that's another show in itself, and it's a show we'll have soon, and we'll have Clint on tomorrow. So I
yeah,
mean, hey, who knows? We could probably pull that out tomorrow. Who knows? But we'll see. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to go with that. But right quick, tell you off topic. He said all topic Packers and Cars are in discussion. Obtain Sweat. Seems like he's going to Green Bay. Won't face Parsons, but we may have to face Sweat in week 3. Wow. But see, that's what I'm saying. Teams are loading up. They know after that move today, the Rams gonna be hard to push out the way. So the Falcons got to start thinking that way, man. They see teams, putting together a powerhouse team. They got to have that same mindset if they want to get over the top and get out of the doghouse. They got to. That's like somebody said earlier. That's the pressure. That's the pressure. That's the ripple effect.
Yeah.
See championship team being built. You got to keep pace. And a perfect example and a good analogy. Chris, you're a baseball lover. I'm a baseball lover too, but Chris, he A1 forever for a reason. When you go back to the Yankees in the 90s, the Braves were putting together great teams.
Yeah.
The only team that could match the Braves was the Yankees. I talked about it with the 49ers earlier in the Cowboys. But when you talk about the Yankees and what they built in the 90s, guess how they did that? They went out and spent money when they got key players, and because the Braves had one of the best rotational staffs of all time. But the Yankees went out and when they got guys like David Cone, David Wells, Tar Stoudemire. I mean, I could keep going on and on.
I was about to say, man, you can really keep going on, and all the guys that they really had. Can you think about it? But think about it. That was because of the owner. George Steinbrenner, if he could have lived forever, you know what I'm saying? My thing is the Yankees would still be doing those type of moves, because one thing about Steinbrenner, if he wanted it, he just went and got it. Because you know how baseball with the salary cap, it ain't like NFL. It ain't like NBA, or really just like any other sport, because they play some of the most games. That's 162 a year. So their money is mostly guaranteed as soon as the ink dry. So it's like, my goodness, bro, they can just go buy a guy. That's the reason why teams like the Braves, they would have good pitching staffs. They would have decent hitting. They would have a couple of superstars, and we would try to make it work. The Yankees, they just went and got all superstars and a couple of little guys. You got to have the others, but it wasn't a whole lot of others. You had Tino Martinez, Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill. Now, Paul O'Neill, I consider like the other, but you got to have them.
Yeah. And Mariano Rivera was their biggest weapon, the ace closer.
Man, if you get to that ninth inning, you might as well cancel Christmas unless you were Andrew Jones.
Right. So yeah, I mean, look, last question, but yeah, you're absolutely right. But you got to sign players to keep pace. It is no way around that. And yeah, I agree. Seattle won't be easy. Trucker Mike said Seattle repeat won't be easy. I agree with that 200%.
Oh,
after that move today, they got that. But last question from Juan Pablo: who do you think wins the quarterback competition? Say it again for the 100th time. Tua is healthy. Penix is not. In the story.
Yeah.
What you think?
I mean, it's hard to go against that, man, at the end of the day, because I'm the same guy that said I want the healthiest quarterback to win. I want the healthiest and most efficient quarterback to win. Right now, that's Tua. But we are only in the beginning of June. It's going to be really hard to see Michael be ready for week 1. I know that's his goal, but I'm not rushing Michael. And I hope no one else is rushing Michael either.
Michael even said it himself, take it one day at a time.
You got to, man. You got to. I understand the expectations and stuff like that, but honestly, I want a healthy Michael Penix regardless, whether he starts week 1 or if he starts week 10. At the end of the day, I want a healthy quarterback so I don't have to worry about whether we rush them back and all that stuff like that. I want him to be 100%. Go out there, do the best you can, and live with the results. Because we got to use you regardless.
Yeah,
So
that-
you know. But to get back to the point, for right now, like I said, right now I have to agree with you because I know the more healthy quarterback right now is Tua, even though it is impressive what Michael is doing when he's not fully healthy.
yeah, but it ain't no contact out there, so that's
It
why I
ain't.
can't bite. That's why I can't bite into what everybody's trying to get me to, feed into. But Kevin,
No.
you absolutely right. Getting hot at the right time, that's in any sport. Just like in
Mhm.
2021 with the Braves, they got hot at the right time. They even beat the brakes out of the Dodgers. So that's just like now. Like Big John, he said it last year. Well, it was it last year or a year before last. He said the Braves peaked too early, and I hope that ain't happening this year. But it's just something about this Brave team under Walt Weiss that I like. His aggressive way of playing. I just like it. And it's something that we ain't seen in Atlanta in a long time. Probably since Bobby Cox. So in Bobby Cox, he took a lot of chances, and a lot of them paid off, but a lot of them didn't. And I think this is what Walt Weiss, because he played for the Braves up under Bobby Cox, so um he knows how Bobby Cox get down, and he's taking bits and pieces of what Bobby did, and then twisting and turning the way he do things. So his aggression and his way of playing is something that's helping the Braves right now. But DBG, I agree. I appreciate you, my guy. I hope we can develop. I think Bill Callaway will be all over him. Dude is massive, 6'8", 310 pounds. Yeah, big dude. Just need to work on his footwork just a little bit, and getting his pass too high. But outside of that, I think he'll be good to go. Wisconsin, they breed offensive linemen, so yeah, it's match made in heaven. But right quick, man, tell everybody where to find you before we get out of here.
Hey man, you know what it is. A1 Forever Sports, the platform on YouTube. Come over, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to everyone who already is subscribed, and thank you for the new subscribers as well. Also, Hawks Digest. Make sure you guys catch me on Hawks Digest as well. Probably gonna be dropping a video a little bit later on there. Just talking about the draft. We are in June officially, so the countdown is on to see who's going to be the newest member of the Atlanta Hawks via the draft or maybe via trade. We'll see what happens. But also
Yep.
Falcons Digest, man. Falcons Digest. Getting. Yeah, I think I got my footing going on over there. Still working a few kinks out and stuff like that. Me personally, how I feel about it over there. But you can catch me at Falcons Digest. So A1 Forever, Falcons Digest, Hawks Digest. Really appreciate you guys, for subscribing to all channels. And of course, I'm always joining us here because again, we always say y'all the lifeline of the show. If y'all don't pull up, regardless of what we talking about, it ain't no show. So we really appreciate you guys. Find your peace today because it is almost 6 o'clock. And hopefully that positive energy that always creates elevation has found you today. And make sure you guys, so just be safe out there. People crazy and don't be stealing out the store. Seeing somebody stealing out the store early.
Well, did you see uh, that police chased that man shot that police officer? That was some of the sickest I ever seen in my life. Jesus Christ. He shot
Yeah,
that man
man.
range.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
again,
it was the justice system fault because they let him out of custody and when they shouldn't have. But go ahead.
yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. It just
Man.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
And me and A want to talk about it all the time. Now I see why my grandparents feel the way they do when they got older. Because some of the things you see, you just can't believe it. When you young, you don't pay it attention. But when you get in your 40s and 50s, boy, that made me sick to my stomach.
Right.
But at the end of that chase, he got what he deserved. He got what he deserved. And I'm not speaking negative on it.
Right.
One thing about karma, it can spin the block just that fast.
But
yeah, man. Find me on Smitty Sports Machine on YouTube right here as I drop daily news content, headlines, even fan questions. I've been doing a lot of those the last couple of videos. And I appreciate y'all for that great content, by the way. And appreciate y'all donate to the channel as well for that. But like Twitter, Fatboy Chanel _21. I'm over there blowing that thing up. I put up a retweet the other day about Penix being on the center. That thing went crazy. But y'all go check that out. At Fatboy Chanel _21 right there on the screen. Also, we will have Clint Goss on tomorrow. Talk Falcon football. West OTAs looking like, so we'll be here tomorrow night about 8:00. So y'all make sure y'all slide through, bring those questions. And like Chris say, man, y'all find y'all peace today. And as I always say, keep God first, because when you keep God first, everything else falls in place. And devil's always busy, so trust me, when you keep God first, devil still can't win. But that's how life goes sometimes. But for my boy A1, this your boy Antoine Smith. Thank y'all for coming through, talking Myles Garrett and Falcons talk. We will holler at y'all soon, man.